What is up? Welcome into the Early Edge, powered by SportsLine. I'm your host, Alan Bell. We're going to have a great show for you this Saturday, get you set up for all of the college football bets that you need for today. And trust me when I say that we have over 20 picks to give out. We have over 20 picks to give out. We've got a monster show here. We're going to pack it all in 10 minutes, and let's let it rip. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at how we did yesterday. We had a monster day. As you see my guys here, Micah Roberts, Mike McClure here on the bottom. Yeah, we went with a clean sweep. Allie crushes on the Brewers. First five. Coastal Carolina minus 26.5 comes through for us. The site play. Novak Djokovic wins the match. Both players win the set, plus 150. Plus, the Jewelers Gym crushes for us as well, plus 330. So, what we're going to try to do is replicate that. Boys, how we doing? Micah?
Morning. How's it going?
Going fantastic. M Squared, how we doing, buddy?
Doing well, buddy. Got a lot going on today. A lot of college football. Got some Formula One sprint race about to start. Got a lot of action today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do it.
You know, that's my favorite part, especially with you two. You know, when you look at SportsLine as a whole, you know, some people just, you know, focus on certain sports. You guys are all over the board. Like, when you go to the analysis tab on the site, like, you guys' names are in legit every single sport. And I just, man, dude, it's fantastic. I love it. All right, so storylines for today. Micah, you are our Las Vegas bookmaker insider, and we want to talk a little bit about how the money gets moved, sharps versus public. Let it rip, my man.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you the public games of the week, the most bet games of the week, and where they're siding with ticket counts. And the reason I like to go with the public is some people call them squares. I'm not that way. Usually the people that call people squares are squares themselves. They just don't know it. But these are the people that bet $5, $20 on parlays and then link them in. They can do a lot of damage to the sports book. But for the most part, these are the people that lose each week and feed the books the money and they get the win. I just saw Illinois won $36 million in the month of July. Half of that was on parlays. So you get the idea of how important it is to kind of get a read and look for what the public is. At least it is for me, from being on the side of the counter, because I know how I got my paycheck every week. It was from these people. So we look at the biggest games today. We've got Iowa State 4.5, 46 at the Superbook, 3-to-1 ratio on ticket counts on Iowa. They're taking the dog. Now, when the public goes for a dog, that is saying something pretty strong there. Read it how you want. Ohio State 14.5, 64, 2-to-1 ratio on Buckeye bets over the Ducks. And the biggest one is Michigan, a 6-to-1 ticket count over Washington. That's 6.5 and 48. So read into it what you will there. Now, the sharp money on Sunday at Circa Sports came out strong, made a bunch of moves. Colorado State from 1 to -7, East Carolina from +3 to -5, and back again to South Carolina -2.5. Temple from 3 to 6.5. North Texas +26 to +23 against SMU. Illinois +13 down to 10.5 against Virginia. Toledo +20 to Notre Dame 16.5. I might have to reevaluate this Notre Dame if it keeps going down like this, because that's a big move. 20, 3.5 points. That's something to consider there. And then you have Pittsburgh from pick to 4 and Utah from 4 to 7. And that's kind of been what it's settled on right now. So I'm not saying I follow the sharps but I like being on their side more than I don't. I'm just saying that.
Oh, yeah. I love being on their side more times than not. You're right. And look, before we jump into the picks, yeah, we had a great day yesterday. So as Coach would say, we have to change a life, and we want to do that. We want to do it on every single show. So our man, Juan Carlos Rivera at JC River APR. Juan Carlos Rivera, you have won a year-long subscription to SportsLine. I'll reach out to you after the show and get you all set up on that. So let's jump into the picks, boys. We don't have a lot of time, and we got a lot of games on the board. We're going to go with our site play today, Notre Dame -17, and here's why. You saw what Notre Dame did against Florida State. Yes, it won in overtime, but this is a team primed for bigger and better things. Brian Kelly, the head coach of Notre Dame, is going to and has been locking down his team, specifically defensively, from the miscues and missteps that they had last week. So Toledo, they're going to have to pay for it, man. So Notre Dame minus 17, that's where we go. Now, Coach is going to get all over me, but I said last night that if Coastal Carolina covered the spread 26.5, I would make something happen. And I've already seen Coach in the comment section today saying, if you bogard my intro, you are fired. Look, we said it last night on Twitter. I would take the chewing. If we get the cover, we got the cover. So, M squared. You know the drill, son. Give it to me.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. That was pretty good there, Alan. All right, let's look at these two college football games. We're going to start with Tennessee at home as a +4 dog here against Pittsburgh. It's one game Micah talked about, a lot of movement in the market. I think the movement is getting a little out of hand here at this point. I make Tennessee just 0.9, so basically a +1 dog here at home. Home field advantage is going to be your friend in college football, especially here early in the season. It's important to remember that some of these kids are 18 to 23 years old. It's been a wild last year and a half to 2 years in the sports world. Some of them have never really experienced an environment like they're going to be walking into today in Knoxville. That crowd is going to help them. They're going to run the football. I know we have leans on the under in this one, but look for Tennessee to run the ball until they can't anymore. And then once they do, I honestly think Milton, after the time he's been putting in with Josh Heupel here, I think he's going to show some improvements. I think that some people might be surprised here, but look for the home field advantage to really be what gets Tennessee inside the number here. I love it at +4. I love seeing the public all over this one, and it's really a public and a kind of a consensus play as we're seeing 70% of the tickets and 70 to 80% of the money on it, but I love getting +4 here with the home dog. And then the second one going to be the game that Micah talked about, also Iowa State. I'm on Iowa State -4 or -4.5. I make this -6.6 in the simulations, getting me through a pretty key number there. Love that 70% of the public is on Iowa. Love fading the big time public dog here. I give a big edge to Iowa State at the quarterback position with Brock Purdy. And then I think the game plan is pretty simple for them, right? It's slow down Tyler Goodson and make Spencer throw the ball. If they're going to live with the result, if Spencer and Iowa is going to sit there and try and throw the ball all day on them, it's not going to be successful. I think Iowa State pulls away here. Wouldn't be shocked if they win this one by 7 to 10 points.
Two solid plays there, and I want to put this in the chat. I think Eric G said it best. AB, never do that again. You know what? You're exactly right. We're never going to do that again. Who could ride up to Coach? It's impossible to do it. Mike, those are your two plays. Micah, you got two for us as well. You're seeing Houston -8. Go ahead. You know what? I'm not even going to talk over your head. Hit us with it, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to start. I got Houston -8, and I've also got San Diego State on the money line +10. I think you can get +15 right now, but I think they're going to win straight up. They're the better team. They're higher rated. Not much of a home field advantage, even though Arizona, they really think they got something going on there. The coaching staff, they brought in Chuck Cecil to play coach. They brought in Ricky Hunley, some alumni in there, so they've got a little feel. They had Rob Gronkowski in the preseason, the spring game. He was there active and recruiting. So they have, good coaching staff, but the players just are not there yet. The cohesion is not there yet. And they get rewarded for basically what was below mediocrity in Las Vegas against BYU. That was a bored BYU team that didn't execute in the second half. They jumped up 14-0 on Arizona and then just kind of packed it away and didn't execute. They were like, Arizona's not going to do much, and gave them a scare. They were throwing dump-off passes to Michael Wiley, short passes to the receiver. Gunnar Cruz ended up going for over 300 yards passing, but totally misleading. They got outplayed in that game. Did get the cover, so now people are giving them bonus points on that, and I don't think that's fair yet against San Diego State, even though they struggled against their last opponent, 28-10 win. We're down 10-0 at the half. This is a team, Greg Bell, the running back, you just feed it to him. I'm not really excited about their passing game, but the offensive line, all these guys have been playing together for the last 3 years. Most of them starters, some of them filling in as starter time. Super experienced team, 310 pounds per guy, 6'3", on the line. So I think they're going to just run the ball. They can just beat them that way the entire game. But it should be a spot where the spread's 6.5 with San Diego State, and you're getting points or plus money on the money line. And with Houston, it's kind of an overreaction with both teams last week. You know, you give Rice a little credit for not covering against Arkansas. Both teams got 38 points scored against them. Texas Tech beat Houston, and bottom line is Houston just made a lot of turnovers, and I think they're going to come back, and it's part of its experience. We're going with the experienced team here, more experience. I got the Houston Cougars here, and they're going to bounce back with the easy win. Game should probably be about 10, 12 points.
You know, you have to love teams that win, not only when they have a bounce back situation, like you just said, but also teams that are just going to run the ball and win the game, right? Like just control the clock, limit, turnovers, things like that. Yeah, I'm with you. So we have reached that time before the coach kicks my front door down and just completely throws me off of the show. Everybody get your papers, get your pens. Let's get these picks up. And when I said that we had, over 20-something picks, yeah, you've seen our shows this week. We've got a ton of them, but we want to get them all right here on the board. So look at that. How beautiful is it? M squared on Iowa State -4.5, Tennessee +4. Our man Micah, San Diego State on the money line, Houston -8, and NC State -2 from our Wednesday live College Football Week 2 show. Side play Notre Dame -17. Chip Patterson from our Wednesday College Football Live show, Iowa State under 46. Texas -6.5, App State +8. The big one this morning, Oregon or Ohio State over 63.5, Oklahoma State -12.5, Georgia Southern +7, Missouri +5. Our man, the lady killer, Matty Boy himself. Yeah, we all remember the South Carolina pick. So, yeah, we're just going to put that one on top. Michigan -6, UAB, Georgia under 46, Air Force -5.5. I am on Pitt and Tennessee under 57. That number is at 56. And most places still love it at that number. So feel good about that one. Tom Fornelli from our College Football Live show, Air Force Navy under 41. San Diego State +1.5, Ball State +22.5, Cal +11.5, Oregon State -11, Texas A&M -16.5. The AB3 parlay today +399, Notre Dame -17, Texas money line, Liberty -4. Whoo! That was a lot of reading, boys.
Good job, Ben.
Hey, I appreciate that. That was a whole lot of reading. So we've got everything that we need. We've got a full board, a full slate of college football today. You know what? We all know what to do. And you know what? I'm not going to do Coach's move on this one because, one, I'm nowhere near good enough to do it. Two, who would want to see that 2 times in one show? But I will say this. Let's take these to the pay window, as Coach would tell us. Let's cash these tickets. And you know what? Let's rally around each other today because it's all about making money, and we're going to do it as a group together today. Let's crush it. So for M squared, for Micah Roberts, I'm Alan Bell. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's take these straight to the pay window.
Do you want best bets in your feed every single day? All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Early Ed.